Let's talk about workplace well-being. Companies are pouring millions into all sorts of programs, but here's the big question. Are they actually working? Today, we're going to look at a totally new way of thinking about this, something that goes way beyond just the surface level perks.
So, let me just ask you this straight up. Does this sound familiar? Your company rolls out a shiny new meditation app or a fun step challenge, and it's nice, I guess. But does it really change that day-to-day feeling of stress or burnout? Probably not. It's a super common frustration, and we're about to find out why.
And this quote right here, this is the key to the whole thing. All those well-being programs, the apps, the gym discounts, the mental health days, that's the icing. But if the actual fundamental experience of your job, the cake itself, is terrible, well, that icing isn't going to fix a thing. In fact, it can feel kind of tone deaf, right?
All right, so here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll get into the real problem with focusing only on that icing. Then we'll figure out what the cake actually is, and I'll walk you through a 3-stage recipe for baking a much better one. And finally, we'll see how to make this whole approach proactive instead of just reactive.
So, the first big clue that we've been getting this wrong is a bit of a puzzle. You can take the exact same well-being program, drop it into 2 different companies, and get wildly different results. So, what is going on there?
Okay, check this out. It really breaks it down perfectly. Over at Company A, they have a good cake, a strong culture, high morale. When they roll out a program, people love it. It feels like an awesome bonus. But then you have Company B, the bad cake. The culture is toxic. Morale is in the basement. That same program, it just lands with a thud. Employees see it for what it is, a flimsy distraction from the real problems. So we keep talking about this cake. If the programs are the icing, what on earth is the cake? Let's get a really clear definition, because this is the heart of it all. The cake is the job. Simple as that. It's the day in, day out reality of your work. It's the systems you use, the culture you live in, and every single interaction you have with your manager and your team. And here's the big takeaway. Before you even think about well-being programs, you absolutely have to get the fundamental experience of work right first.
And this is the roadmap. It's a 3-stage hierarchy, and the order is absolutely critical. You can't just jump to step 3. You have to start with the foundation, with the system itself.
Okay, stage 1, the system. This is all about looking under the hood. It means before you spend a single dime on a wellness app, you have to audit the very architecture of how work gets done at your company.
And you have to start asking some pretty tough questions, like, are workloads actually manageable, or is everyone constantly overloaded? Are job descriptions clear so people know what success even looks like? Do your people have any real say in how they do their work? I mean, these aren't just fluffy ideas. They are the absolute bedrock of a healthy place to work. If the answer to any of these is no, well, that's where you have to start. So the whole point here is to become a kind of detective inside your own organization. You document everything, your policies, your procedures, how you measure success, and you analyze it for risks to your people. This is all about proactively managing the employee experience, not just reacting when things go wrong. Okay, let's move on to stage 2. Once that system foundation is a bit stronger, you've got to look at the people operating within that system. And I'm talking specifically about the leaders. The way managers interact with their teams has a truly massive impact on well-being. And we're looking for these kinds of behaviors. Do leaders create an environment where it feels safe to speak up, to even make a mistake? Do they show actual empathy? Do they listen to understand, not just to respond? Every single one of these behaviors dials down the threat and cranks up the feeling of reward in our daily work lives. This is what really transforms a culture. And hey, if you're doubting just how important this stage is, get a load of this. This finding is just stunning. Your relationship with your direct boss can have a bigger impact on your health than your relationship with your partner, your friends, or even your doctor. Wow, that's exactly why leadership is the non-negotiable second layer of the cake. Okay, so we've finally made it to stage 3. Now, and only now after you've started fixing the system and building up your leaders, now it makes sense to add the icing, those individual support programs. But we're going to do it in a much, much smarter way. This slide shows the huge shift in thinking. On the left, you see the old way. You buy a generic gym membership for everyone and tick the physical health box. The new way, on the right, is so much more targeted. First, you identify the real unavoidable risks in your business, like, say, sleep disruption for shift workers. And then you design specific support, like a sleep program, to directly solve that specific problem.
And you treat it like a real business initiative. You ask, what exact problem are we solving? Who is this for? What specific change do we want to see? And this is the big one, how are we going to measure it? This is so much more powerful than just throwing random perks at people and hoping something sticks.
So, the whole goal here is to shift from being reactive to being proactive. It's illogical, it's systematic, but of course, there's a huge practical challenge to making this all happen, especially in a modern workplace that is just constantly changing. And here's the tough reality. Doing this kind of deep dive manually takes hundreds and hundreds of hours. And the second you're done, guess what? There's a reorg or a new policy comes out and your entire audit is pretty much out of date. It's almost impossible to keep up. This is where technology and automation can be a total game changer. Imagine using AI to analyze all your policies and feedback in real time. It lets you keep that system architecture totally current. Suddenly, you can move from just reacting to problems to actually being proactive and even predictive. You can model changes before they happen to spot potential risks. So we'll end with the question we started with, but maybe with a bit of a new spin. Is your organization just slapping more icing on things, hoping it'll fix the cracks? Or are you actually rolling up your sleeves and doing the hard, foundational work of baking a better cake? Because at the end of the day, that's what truly creates a healthy, thriving workplace.